It's episode 1 of Clued In, and it's the arrival. And it's where everybody shows up at the mansion. Now, I'm not going to go through every single person, but I am going to go through the parts that I think are very interesting. Now, when Wadsworth arrives at the mansion, the dogs are barking furiously at him. Very much that, I don't know you, back off, buddy, kind of thing. So he throws some meat. He adjusts their chains so that they can't get that far because the other guests are going to be arriving. And then he goes inside. Colonel Mustard shows up. Now, Colonel Mustard shows up. The dogs are barking in the same way that they did with Wadsworth, except they can only come to a certain length because of the chain. Now, Mustard comes in. Wadsworth says, I know who you are. You're Colonel Mustard. And Mustard's like, well, why? And Wadsworth says, and this is very, very important, he says, my employer wants you to use an alias. So there's an employer here. So keep that in mind. The others arrive. We don't see the dogs when Mrs. White comes because she's just automatically in the door. Peacock's just automatically at the library. But Mr. Green arrives. And when Mr. Green arrives, the dogs act completely different toward him. They growl, and it's that growl of, you're my owner and you just told me to stay back and I don't want to stay back and I'm really angry with you. They're a lot further than they should be based on the change, so that's a little weird. And so that's just a little thing you notice. Mr. Green goes in. Plum and Scarlet show up. The dogs are in their dog box. It's raining hard. You can see the chain a little bit, but not really, so who knows what's actually happened here with the chain. I think Mr. Green actually unchained them at this point, and you'll see why later. And they all end up in the house, and Wadsworth tells them that everyone in the house is going by a pseudonym. Everyone. That's the other important fact of the arrival. And then they all head off to dinner as the cook rings the gong. Mr. Green acts really weird, throwing his drink like a crazy person, and says he's accident prone. Doesn't make any sense the way he acts, but he does, and that'll come in later. They go to dinner, and that's the arrival. So let me know if you have any ideas about this, if you've watched it. And tune in next week for episode 2 where we get in the dining room and just another fun part. Thanks for watching.